Good morning, good morning. Today I'd like to give you some information concerning relation between geology and architectonical structure of temple of Queen Hatshepsut at Deir el-Bahari in Upper Egypt. Let's start from the geology. Many of you visited this place, but let's say some words about relation between rocks and structure of the temple. Some introductions, some information concerning rocks present there. In Deir el-Bahari we have two geological systems. One, there are so-called Esna shells. This is this part down, and upper part there are Theban limestones. Both these sediments were deposited between 52 million and 49 million years ago in Eocene, Precien. And for geologists it's well seen that at the moment of sedimentation of Esna shells we have gray shells intercalated with layers of limestones, and starting from the bottom of Esna shells up we have a sequence of more and more often deposited layers of limestone, and this sequence of sediments, let's say shells and limestones, are later coming into Theban limestone. This is lower part of Theban limestones. Upper part there are mountain Lassim, and the temple of Hatshepsut was constructed at the upper part of Esna shells. Below temple we have layers of limestones and many tombs from various periods, dynastic of course, and this sequence limestone were used for preparation of tombs. It means tombs were dug in soft shells, Esna shells, and overlying limestone were left, layer of overlying limestone was left as a roof of tombs. Like at this place you have entrances to the tombs, and above there is layer of limestone. Similar situation we have in temple of Hatshepsut. Before construction of temple, geological situation looked like there. There are Theban limestone, these cliffs, and sequence of layers of Esna shells intercalated with limestones, Pliocenic gravels covering north slope of Deir el-Bahari, and at some places present at the top of Esna shells as of course secondary sediments originating from damaged weathered limestone. And below these sediments there are young quaternary gravels with sands intercalated, and this is situation before preparation of the temple. Looking more closer to this situation, we have upper part of Esna shells, this part, and as we see, temple is constructed, was built exactly at this part of upper Esna shells, and there below, above Esna shells, we have Theban limestone. Looking to the geology, to stratigraphy, at this part we have following sequence: gray shells, Esna shells, intercalated with limestones. Some of them are well seen in profile. But if we look more closer to this upper part of Esna shells, we have layers of limestones, this light, intercalated with Esna shells, soft and cracked because of tectonic. And again we have a layer of limestone and shells, and again limestone and shells, and above there are Theban limestones. This is most upper part of Esna shells, and this is more or less placed in profile where was dug sanctuary present at the upper part of Temple of Hatshepsut. This is only a location on the profile, but exact place was there. This is sanctuary, and it was dug in upper part of Esna shells. And we have special situation that above sanctuary we have limestone layer, and all this uppermost upper terrace is built on the layer of limestone intercalated at primary situation, intercalating Esna shells. And this is this limestone present at most upper terrace, and this is upper part of this layer of this limestone, and there was dug the hole, and under this layer of limestone there is tomb number T7, if I remember well, by 52. And we may see how this surface, upper surface of limestone, making their layer about 1 meter, 1 meter 20 centimeters thick, was not very flat. And because they built this wall of chapel of Hatshepsut chapel wall, because this surface of limestone intercalating Esna shells was not very flat, the base for this wall was specially prepared. As you see, were left stones specially prepared for the for making flat surface fundaments for wall of chapel of Hatshepsut. You see, this block is there more thicker, then it's thinner, and next is going to the same direction. So because of this preparation of the surface, was chance to build very well preserved up to now wall of chapel of Hatshepsut. But by the way, digging this entrance to the tomb T7, they slightly damaged fundaments under this wall, and was made special construction by Polish mission for preservation of the wall against problems. All region is tectonic, so it was necessary to put a special construction for fixing the wall. Looking closer to this preparation of fundaments above the top of layers of limestones intercalating as nashes, you have seen that it was specially prepared, and because of this the wall in chapel of Hatshepsut is well preserved and still is existing. And going down to the tomb T7, under this limestone layer, we have Esna shells. It looks like this. There are cracked at many places. Fissures are filled up with secondary minerals, mostly gypsum, anhydrite, and sometimes barium and other minerals. But of course it was much more easy dig tomb in this soft Esna shells, and to left the roof in the form of limestone layer. The roof is preserved there. It's cracked too, but still at not bad condition. Other place where one can observe exploration of Esna shells under or between layers of limestones present in Esna shells. There is chapel of Hathor. There is a picture of internal part, one wall of chapel of Hathor. And what we may see, of course, decoration, everything beautiful, but the wall is constructed of using this kind of blocks, of limestone blocks, next prepared for paintings and so etc. etc. But all chapel is dug in shells, Esna shells, present between relatively thick layers of limestone. So these intercalating limestones, intercalating Esna shells, this one layer built the roof above the chapel, and second lower layer of limestone construct the base, the fundament for construction of chapel of Hathor. So this means that again constructors of temple dug holes in soft shells and used limestone as roofs and base. Next, this prepared these empty spaces dug by them had walls filled up, covered with blocks of limestones. So behind this chapel of Hathor there are soft Esna shells, and one can see thickness of blocks of limestones used for coating of the walls, and there is seen small fissure because of the separation of blocks. So its blocks were of this various size, but generally flat, and nobody knows what is behind. Behind, of course, there are Esna shells, but maybe behind these walls of Hathor Hathor Chapel and other chapels and sanctuary, there are empty spaces, nobody knows. It is interesting to control this using, for example, radar. And all this floor, this let's say third floor of the temple, was constructed, or was built on the layer of limestones intercalating Aethna shells. They constitute the fundament. But at some places there was Aethna shells and layer of limestone was eroded, as for example at this place, and part of construction of temple was constructed, was built on the slope exactly on top, eroded top of Aethna shells. It was, of course, this surface was prepared, and over this, prepared in the form of specially constructed small wall fundaments, and over this was built real part of Hatshepsut Temple. Interesting situation we have on the lower terrace, where during the construction of the temple, material Aethna shells were removed, were explorated, and removed to this place for making a flat platform. You can see this on this photo. This is primary border, primary limit before construction of temple of Aethna shells with intercalation of limestones. This is rest of intercalation, and all material from this area was removed there to make this beautiful platform. So again, I will back to this drawing. From this area, Aethna shells marked with these small waves, let's say, and other rocks were removed and deposited there. Probably, by the way, both rampa were constructed in part using these rocks removed from these Aethna shells. This material was transported from there. There was prepared this terrace, and it looked like this. There was prepared vertical walls, etc. Material was specially transported, and one can see this material removed during the preparation of the fundaments of temple in holes present in wall on the right side of temple. There is wall limiting the terrace, and in this terrace is one quite big hole, and one can see inside blocks of materials removed from the jebel, let's call jebel, during preparation of fundaments, and collected under this terrace. So, in conclusion, we may construct following history of construction of temple. Before construction of temple, situation looked like this, where Aethna shells is gray with intercalation of limestones, old rocks deposited between 52 and 49 million years ago. Next were cut vertical walls some parts of Esna shells were left for preparation of rampa, for transportation of material, and of course it was not enough, so rampas were additionally filled up with this material removed from other places during preparation of the area for construction of temple. Next, they were prepared, they start to build some constructions, columns, etc., and we don't know exactly because the story of temple is long. At various moments were prepared holes in Esna shells. There are Esna shells, there is hole, and for example was constructed sanctuary. Walls were covered with the blocks of limestones, but material was prepared, the hole was prepared in Esna shells. Similar situation we have with tomb T78, so it's marked like this. And similar situation we have in Hathor chapel, probably in part in Amun chapel and in other. So it's very exciting if probably there is something, is chance for empty spaces behind walls of these chapels, sanctuary, etc., because walls of made in Esna shells were covered with limestone, and we don't know exactly what is behind. It's for future, for control using, for example, radar. So there is summary of these observations. I will not read this because most of you know English very well. So there are collected some impressions, some explanations. So please write this, read this for your interest. Maybe it will be important, interesting. And the next, there is quite big amount of these various informations and opinions. You may stop at each moment presentation, and you may read carefully. And so I am open for discussion. If somebody like discuss, my data are in internet, Maciej Pawlikowski, and email, etc. Next part of conclusions. So it's well seen after this work, many years of my work, evident relation between knowledge of architects concerning construction of temple and knowledge concerning geology. They perfectly use special geological situation in Esna shells for construction of temple with 2, maybe even 3 floors. It's very special construction, very beautiful, but very special. So this monument, this temple documents great knowledge of ancient Egyptians taking decision concerning construction of temple of Queen Hatshepsut in Deir el-Bahari. They know a lot, and they were very clever. It was very clever use of this geological situation. So, thank you for listening, and see you during the next small lecture. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.